Yeah, yeah, yeah. So so you're gonna go to Fat Burgers? Going to Fat Burgers? Are you going to Tommy's? In and Out? In and Out. Hey, they're going to. What do you want? In and Out? Fat Burgers? Tom?
In and
In
out.
In and Out? Uh, two In and Outs, double cheese,
No onions.
no onions, no onions. Chocolate shake,
Vanilla.
vanilla shake.
Two fries.
That's kind of funny, man. You're a black guy. You like vanilla shakes, and I don't know what the hell I am, and I like chocolate shakes. You know,
Well, you're the brown booty.
booty on duty. I tell you. Okay, you sure? Okay. All right. Well, all right. We sent them out. Okay. ABTV Live, the Digital Broadcasting Network, and thepowervoices.com have united like they've never united before. We have come together and touched each other verbally and electronically because, yes, yours truly, Jesse Torero, the Brown Beauty on duty, I have been banned from Facebook Live. Can you imagine? Do you know anybody in your existence that has been banned from Facebook Live temporarily for posting up something? You know what I posted up? I was on the way to the station today, and I just, was listening to some great music, and I was listening to that New Shoes song. I can't wait, and I thought, well, I'll just do a little thing on there, right? So I go Facebook Live at facebook.com/Jesse Terrero, and I go Facebook Live, and I have a fun time for like 30 seconds, a minute, minute and a half, something like that, maybe 2 minutes, but maybe 3 minutes, maybe okay. I have fun for 4 minutes, and all right, 5 minutes, okay, man. I tell you, you people are truth seekers. You must be birthers. That's right. Anyhow, I was born in Chicago, by the way. I wanted you to know. 1960, August 23rd, in the Shriners Hospital in Chicago, Illinois. Yes, I was. Okay, so I was temporarily banned because I guess what they're doing is what YouTube Live does. If you play a song that is copyright all over it, and you don't even know sometimes what songs are. Well, they're all copywritten, but you don't know which one's going to trigger it. So now you can't even use anybody else's music on Facebook, just like YouTube Live. So if you do that, you're going to get banned temporarily. And I was trying to figure it out. I mean, I'm the guy that I get all these, hot little chicks that, that they've got porn all over their stuff hitting on my website, right? And what happens is I immediately report them. I block them. I write a little complaint to them. I send it up to the Facebook people. My list is got to be hundreds and hundreds because I've got so many followers, and I kind of keep it open, right? I don't sift through. I just let people do their thing, right? So
Okay.
what?
I have to confess.
Yeah.
I put a ban on you because of your singing, and that's what happened. But I didn't know they were going to temporarily block you from, you know,
Wait a second.
temporarily block you from Facebook Live. But your singing is so horrendously
You put a
bad.
ban. You put a you Lee. The
Yeah.
guy I sent out our buddies to get In and Out Burger, and
Oh, you buying?
yeah,
Oh,
you put a ban. Just
well,
for that,
I'll,
you want to
I'll
know what's going to
I'll
happen?
retract the ban.
I can't wait.
Now you're gonna get me banned.
Oh,
No,
baby.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I didn't do that. I'm a prankster, but I wish I had thought about that. Probably I would have, but I didn't.
Well,
Somebody else got you
I
apparently.
think I got hacked.
Well, that's a possibility, but I think the group New Shoes probably said, "Stop this clown now."
I think they did. I can't access anything. So if you're trying to find me, you gotta find me on thepowerofvoices.com.
Well, it's on your page
Oh,
also.
it's
Yeah,
it's on my page
yeah,
now. I
it's there.
can't see it.
Yeah,
So
there it is right there. That's on your page.
is that on my page?
Yeah, right here. See?
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's really cool.
Yeah, I shared it over to your page.
So are all the people going to come up and be able to chime in? Will we be able to see that?
I can't testify to that because, but it is on your page. Anybody that goes to your page
So,
will
well,
see
they'll
it.
see that.
Yes.
So at least
Yeah.
it won't be like it's gone.
Right. Exactly.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. That's the best I can do.
See, you're like the guru. That's what you are.
Well,
Uh,
sometimes, yeah.
Seafood. Sensei.
What is it?
In Japanese, it's sensei. In
The
Chinese, it's
Kumba?
seafood.
What's the guy's name that was with in the Grand Poobah?
You are the grand poobah of the moose.
The Moose Lodge.
I was a grand poobah of the cow lodge over the weekend.
I saw that. It was too funny.
Was that
What
funny?
did you say to them?
Hi.
That's it? And it came over like you were giving away gold.
They didn't just prance. Did you see some of them heifers? They were like, boom,
Oh yeah,
boom,
they were.
I gotta get over to
boogie-
Jesse T.
They were like they had new shoes.
I can't wait.
That's what they were singing. They were coming over.
It's unbelievable.
Did they smell?
No.
No, clean heifers.
No, they were clean heifers. And the
There
thing
was a bunch of them.
yeah, that's the thing. It wasn't just one. It
No.
was at least 100, 150. And what happened was, just a few came over, noticed me from about a football field length away, right?
Yeah.
And and then a few more noticed me, and then all of a sudden, they
The
were.
whole herd.
I mean, you saw the ones that like, look at, look at. Let me tell you something. I understand cows now. There's middle class cows. There's poor cows, middle class cows, and there's wealthy, elite, high elite social cows, right? And then there's stripper cows, because the two cows that came over that were like gallivanting, they're like just strippers, man. Run, right?
Yeah,
Can't
they
wait
got
to
over
get
there
to
pretty
work.
quickly.
Get right, right. And then they turned around and lifted their tail and they went.
You say, "Oh, that's just Jesse."
And I said, yeah. So I carried on the conversation with him for about 15 minutes. And we were just talking about important things in life. Like eat, the cow fun they have on Thursday night. When we're out, doing cow stuff.
And the bulls come in.
I didn't see any bulls. I think these were all lesbian cows.
Were they Republicans or Democrats?
Well, they definitely were LGBTQ cows. I saw no.
No dudes in the
I
house.
saw no Brahmas.
No.
No Brahma bulls. No. That's why. That's why.
The guy. They thought you were a guy.
They sensed my manlyhood.
Yeah. There you go.
They sensed that Italian, Spanish, Scott Irish.
Well, you know what the old bull said to the young bull, right?
Yeah. Take your time so you can go down there and get them all.
That's right. That is what he said.
Okay, so we are live at 5 right here on the Jesse T Show, and we've just entered the world according to Torero. We've sent the gang out to get us In-N-Out burgers, and we'll see if they come back with them before we get off the air. And we've got a great show for you lined up here. And if you want to get involved with us, you can at 424-227-9461. Also, you can go to our Facebook live sites at facebook.com/Jesse Torero. But I don't know if you can chime in on that site right now. but you can watch us. But if you want to start chiming in a little bit, letting us know where you're at, you can go to facebook.com/the power of voices site, and you'll be able to tell us where you're at and what's going on. I think I got hacked because all of a sudden everything went down for really no reason, and I've never been banned for a copyright infringement before. And they usually would warn you, but we do know now that Facebook is coming down on that, so be cautious, guys. Don't use any music that you don't have the right to use. Even if you just use it for 5 or 10 or 15 seconds, you're probably going to get zapped. And I'm just hoping it's not zapped for 30 days. That would not be a good thing. So I'm going to have to start looking at maybe setting up another Facebook page under a pseudonym that I'm wondering if it's going to touch the same phone and get the same algorithms or whatever the phone sends, the addresses and stuff, even if I do a pseudonym. I might have to just go out and buy a brand new phone. In that respect.
I think it's the account, not the phone, that's been banned. Yeah, so your Jesse T show account.
I just moved it over.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have to look at that.
It's always something.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna go home and cry.
Well, you probably should. It might make you feel better, but I doubt it. And I'm just trying to keep it real because
We have any money.
pretty much. Yeah.
I like my hamburgers with cheese on it.
I like cheese. Mayo, lettuce, tomato, no onions. You can put some relish on it if you want. It doesn't have to be. Chili would be good. And a fried egg.
Huh.
What do you think? Huh? We probably should have gone Fatburger.
We should have gone Fatburger, not In-N-Out. I think so.
Yeah.
Because Fatburger, you can build your own burger.
Right. And In-N-Out only has one size of fries.
Yeah, and they only have one size of shake.
Shake, yeah, that's true.
I want a bigger shake.
Yeah, you have to do a double down.
Is that what I got to do?
Yeah.
What I mean?
You buy two.
I can't do it.
Why not?
I got to watch my glucose.
No. Well, then you don't need a large shake. A regular shake.
Well, I think our show is just when we got it.
Before or after it started? You were having major problems before you got started.
Yes, I was having Facebook problems.
Mm-hmm.
And I was having a little bit of a breakdown, so I'm okay now. I feel pretty
You're more better?
I'm more better. More better. More better. I'm more better. That's right. Okay. So what we're going to do today is we're going to talk something that interested me yesterday that I briefly talked about real quick, just real fast. I know a lot of people don't remember Fukushima because it's been 2 or 3 years now. And Fukushima was the
No, she used to do the all-night show down in Hoboken.
Yeah, that's right. And Tsunami was her sister over in the south side of Chicago. And so when they would get together, it would be Fukushima and Tsunami.
Right.
And, and then they'd have to call up, right.
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 Sure. Absolutely.
Short.
Yep.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Both of them.
Yeah, both of them. I don't know what. I get a cough like this sometimes. Anyway, so Fukushima was a big tsunami that hit over there in Japan, and it has polluted the whole Pacific Ocean. It's been 2 years. They haven't stopped that radiation leak underwater, and it's been spewing out radiated water that they cooled the reactor down, and they continue to cool the reactor down. It really had a China syndrome thing that was happening, and it was really terrible. And I'm going to show you a picture here to blow you away. You see that picture right there? That is the whole Pacific Ocean, where it's purple and red. That's where Fukushima hit. Now look how big It's in South America, it's going down to Australia. It's the whole Pacific Ocean that has been polluted by the radiation. And this radiation is really interesting because what happens, it's like a sheet of rain. If you've ever been on the plains of North Dakota, where you see the rains coming in these giant sheets, where there's no mountains, it's just flat land. You can see the rain off in the distance, 30, 40 miles, and then in these sheets, and it's all dark, and it's almost square. And then there's light on this side and light on that side. That's what happened in this Fukushima radiation. The radiated water, the polluted water, were these sheets of radiation that were on top of the ocean, Pacific Ocean, and they, like long tentacles, they went down 4,000 feet deep. 4,000 feet deep. Our deepest submarines don't even go that far. 4,000 feet. So you had this big sheet of the size of Manhattan traveling across the Pacific Ocean. That's 4,000 feet deep. And this is why so many fish have been polluted, because as that sheet would move underwater and the fish were just doing fish things, they'd swim through that, and they would get polluted. And so what's happening is a lot of fish are dying of radiation exposure. And the Pacific Ocean really is the breadbasket of the world when you think about it. There are so many cultures that their whole existence, their diet is fish. The people from Okinawa, for instance, their main diet is fish. And they eat fish, and they're one of the oldest people in the world because they eat raw fish, a lot of it, and some of these people live to be well over 100 years old. The Okinawans in Okinawa. So there's going to be a major side effect, and that's not being talked about at the presidential election. That's the kind of stuff that a president and a candidate should be talking about. These important things that affect all of the world instantly. They got radiation splash in British Columbia. That's up by Washington in Canada, where the waves hit the rocks and the water that splashes onto the rocks. It's now going into the redwood trees and the giant trees up there, because those giant trees, they don't get their water from underground. They get their water being so high in the air, and the ocean dew that comes into the coastal marine, the marine coastal air that comes in, that carries all their water that these giant trees need up there in Washington and in Canada. And they're finding radiation at the treetops, where the leaves and the branches are dying, because the splash of the water in the air from the ocean is polluted from Fukushima. And that disaster that's still ongoing is destroying now things in the land. So, yeah, we have a really tremendous problem there. And I had forgotten all about that myself. I talked a lot about it when it first happened. And it's been a couple of years now, and it's really a bad thing. So, that's something that really could affect everybody in the world instantly, and a lot faster than this overheating of the planet. That is kindergarten stuff compared to this disaster. And this was a man-made disaster, because that reactor blew what was basically going to go nuclear, and they hit it with all that water, and they were able to cool it down sufficiently, but it melted through the core into the bedrock, into the bedrock underneath, and deep, very deep into the bedrock. It actually melted the bedrock and turned it into molten lava. That's how hot those cores are. So the Fukushima incident is still affecting everybody, and we got to keep an eye on that, because that's something. When that happened, I wouldn't eat any fish from the Pacific Ocean. I would only eat Atlantic Ocean fish. But this is going to travel around the world ocean-wise and cover everything. And there's nothing they can do. They can't stop it. There is nothing that they can do, short of blowing it up. That is not a true indication. There's no true indication there that they'll be able to stop that. So I wouldn't, if I were you, I would eat no Pacific fish right now. Period. No shellfish, no lobster, no, you
I don't
know,
eat any. Nothing.
no, just stay away from Pacific Ocean fish and all. I mean, take a look at that map. It's posted up on Facebook.com/Jesse's Railroad. I got it posted up there. You got to look at that map. And this is real science. This isn't made up science, hocus pocus stuff that you see on the internet. This is reality right there. It's very, very dangerous. Of course, we had the big earthquake scare here in California. We're going to do a prepper show about earthquakes and how to prepare and how to be ready for the big one and how to be ready for any natural disaster or man-made disaster. A little bit of difference between a natural disaster and man-made disaster, but you still need to be prepared in much the same way because you got to be able to survive on your own. No one's going to come to help you. There are going to be no ambulances, or there will be no fire department or police department. They'll be taking care of their own families if that kind of disaster happens. If we have a 6 or 7 point earthquake on the San Andreas Fault, you're going to see buildings topple everywhere in Southern California. This is not going to be focused and localized into a certain area. If we have a 7 or 8 point earthquake on the San Andreas Fault, we're talking about geographical cosmic change to our planet. We're talking about shifting. We're talking about 8 to 9 point earthquake on the San Andreas Fault. We're talking about the type of damage that is very, very difficult to even imagine. Mayor Garcetti here in the city of Los Angeles, they have a preparedness program, and they have been doing the work on it and spending hundreds of millions of dollars to retrofit as many of the LA City buildings that they can with earthquake retrofit. But nevertheless, so you've got to be prepared for that. And of course, tonight, I believe it's going to start in a short while. The wannabe vice presidents are going to have their little fisticuffs. They're going to have their debate. That's Pence and Kane. It sounds like a candy. It sounds like a candy bar. Hey, you got any Pence and Kane? Pence and Kane. That'd be making like a good malt liquor. Hey, got some Pence and Kane tonight? Got some Pence and Kane? Well, these guys are dramatically different, just like the presidential candidates are so dramatically different from each other. These two men are literally on the opposite ends of the political spectrum and how they approach things. And Kane's like portrayed as a good old boy. Pence is this serious, really conservative based Republican. So you have that's going to be interesting to see how much they're going to have to defend both of their presidential candidates, because both of them have done some really maneuvers over this campaign run. It's really just become a Dr. Holmes show. They're not talking about anything of importance. The issues are not even being talked about. They always get sidetracked. Both of them get sidetracked into their own egos and their own self-righteous arrogance. Both of them. And it's amazing how we, the public, are getting absolutely nothing but just a great vaudevillian show on stage. This next town hall kind of setup that they're going to be doing the next debate and the last debate for the presidential candidates. This is going to be another dog and pony show. It's amazing what we allow ourselves and accept for ourselves to see and understand that we think that is really important stuff. They're not talking about anything important, nothing. I mean, this is getting so down and dirty, and they're talking about the liaisons of their husbands, and the liaisons of their family members. It's just gotten to the point where it's very, very, very entertaining. It is actually it's riveting in terms of entertainment. It is definitely the soap opera of soap operas. It is a novella. That's a Mexican novella, Mexican soap opera. I mean, it is over the top. And it's going to continue to go that way. Maybe they'll talk talk about issues. But you know, look, we got less than 30 days. We got about 35 days or so left. And then November 8th, we're voting. And talk about November 8th. We picked up here at the powervoices.com, we picked up the voting information for everything that is on the ballot. And, well, let me say this. When was the last time that you read a 223-page book? 223 pages. The California general election, which is Tuesday, November 8th, 2016. Here's your official voter information guide. I'm showing it on Facebook.com /Power Voices and Jesse Terrero and YouTube Live. Here's the book. Okay. Now remember when this was just a few pages and maybe half the size they did it half? Look at the size of this book. Look at this. I mean, you're talking, it's an inch thick. That's an inch thick. Who's going to read this thing? That in itself is absurd and ridiculous. That this is an inch thick. This covers everything that's being voted for here in the state of California during our general election November 8th. So I thought what I would do is I would go through some of this. This is the first time I picked this up. So I'm pretty, right on what's going on. But this is the first time I picked this up. And so I thought I'd go through some of this and see exactly what some of these propositions are. First, you got, of course, it talks to you, it teaches you all about voting and our Bill of Rights and the Constitution. It talks about provisional voting and what that means, and what is a provisional ballot, who casts a provisional ballot, provisional voting. Yeah, let's talk about that for a second. If your name is not on the voter list at your polling place, you have the right to vote a provisional ballot. Now, one of our guys here, Lee, at one time in his life, he went to vote and his name wasn't on the voting ballot. He couldn't be found. And they would not let him vote because his name wasn't on the voting ballot. He wanted to vote, and he's always voted, but they would not let him vote. So here in California, we have this thing called provisional voting. And I think that's pretty much kind of taken across the nation now. But there was a time that if your name was not on the ballot, you couldn't vote. Period, end quote. If your name is not on the voter list at your polling place, you have the right to vote a provisional ballot. So that's something that a lot of folks need to know, because we have to vote. This election is very important. If you've never voted before and you aren't registered, you can do it online. Vote. We have to vote because our nation is up for grabs in terms of what direction it's going to go over the next 5 to 15 years. Because a lot of what a president does is they set policy that goes beyond their presidency, even if they're president for 8 years. It lingers on for another half a dozen years or so. Because no matter what the candidates say, they don't go in there and they just don't go wackadoo on the previous president's executive orders. They just don't do that. They just don't chop and whack, and they get a couple of them out, but they pretty much, most of them stick for long periods of time. So it's really important that we vote. And one of the things you have to take great consideration is the Supreme Court. Because there's going to be a lot of these cats who are going to be retiring, either by forced retirement because of health issues, or by the choice to retire because they're just too old and they don't want to do it anymore. So we've got the Supreme Court, and the next president is going to be able to place several members on that Supreme Court. And are they going to be conservatives? Are they going to be more liberal? So the Supreme Court really is the most important entity as far as our branches of government, because the Supreme Court, it's a lifetime position, or until they decide to retire. So you got to understand that when somebody gets put on the Supreme Court and ratified in, they are there for life, and there's nothing that can be done. So this is how important the next president is going to have. One of the most important things that the next president is going to have to do. So, who casts a provisional ballot? Provisional ballots are ballots cast by voters who believe they are registered to vote, even though their names are not on the official voter register list at the polling place. Who else casts a provisional ballot? Vote by mail, but did not receive their ballot or do not have their ballot with them, and instead want to vote at a polling place. So, those are some of the examples of the provisional ballot. You can vote by mail. You can vote vote early in person. You can vote at the polls on election day, and you can do provisional voting. So I'm going to go through this and jump into some of these. Oh my goodness, look at this. I'm already confused. The first page, I'm already confused. Okay, all right. These are the propositions. So, okay, quick reference guide. This is a quick reference guide. Okay, Prop 51. School bonds, funding for 8th through 12th grade school and community college facilities, initiative statute. Now, folks, if you don't read this stuff before you go into vote, and you just go pokety poke with your pokers in there, there's no way you're gonna sit there and understand every one of these ballots, these propositions, even when they summarize them. I'll give you an example. This one here, Prop 51. As I said, school bonds funding for K through 12 and community college facilities, initiative statute. Well, that's just another tax, okay? Authorizes $9 billion in general obligation bonds for new construction and modernization of K through 12 public school facilities, charter schools, and vocational educational facilities, and California community college facilities. Fiscal impact, state costs of about $17.6 billion to pay off both the principal $9 billion and interest $8.6 billion on the bonds. Payments of about $500 million per year for 35 years. Okay, did that mean something to you? If you vote yes, this is what it means. A yes vote on this measure means the state could sell $9 billion in general obligation bonds. Sounds like a tax to me. For education facilities, $7 billion for K through 12 public schools facilities, and $2 billion for community colleges. If you vote no on this, a no vote on this measure means the state would not have the authority to sell new general obligation bonds for K through 12 public school and community college facilities. You know something? For me, that's a big fat no. I don't want the state raising more money because the state of California has taken so much money from us in taxes. We are the most taxed state in the United States of America. When you take care of all the taxes and all the monies they're taking from us, we are the most tied up state in California. We don't need to be tied up some more. It's unbelievable when you start reading it. So you got to take the time and you got to choose something. So you got to put some thought behind it. And then it has the arguments pro and the arguments con and the arguments for and the arguments against. So that's sort of how the book reads. And it goes on and it goes on. Proposition 53, Proposition 54, Proposition 57. Oh, you're going to like Proposition 57. We extensively talked about Governor Jerry Nincompoop Brown. This is that turning violent crime into nonviolent crime. But it's under Prop 57. It's under fancy words, right? Criminal sentences, parole, juvenile criminal proceedings and sentencing, initiative constitutional amendment and statute. That said absolutely nothing. So here's the summary. Allows parole consideration for nonviolent felons, authorizes sentence credits for rehabilitation, good behavior, education, provides juvenile court judges, decides whether juveniles will be prosecuted as adults, fiscal impact, net state savings like in the tens of millions of dollars annually, depending on implementation, net county costs of likely a few $1 million annually. So here's the pros. California public school safety leaders and victims of crime support Provision 57, the Public Safety and Rehabilitation Act of 2016, because Prop 57 focuses on resources on keeping dangerous criminals behind bars by rehabilitating juvenile and adult inmates and saves tens of millions of taxpayer dollars. If you're against it, vote no on 57, it's because it authorizes early release of violent criminals. Oh, but let's pass that one again. It authorizes early release of violent criminals. Violent criminals. Early release of violent criminals, including those who rape unconscious victims. Authorizes immediate release. Oh, you're going to love this. Our governor, Jerry Brown, Nincompoop Brown, Moonchild Brown. Think of it, that guy used to go out and have wild sex with Linda Ronstadt in the 70s. She was a hot babe. Linda was hot. Oh, that girl had flavor. She was, man, she could sing. She was just great looking, right? And her and Governor Brown, his first time around, he was getting down with some brown beauty on duty right there in the female form. That's right. He's also smoking a little grass, too. That's where the Moonchild thing came in, right? They used to call it grass, right? Give me some grass, gas, or ass, or you don't pass. Remember those bumper stickers from the 1970s? Yeah, well, that was all like during Jerry Brown's time when he was not 85 years old like he is now, or 88 when he was in his 30s and 40s. All right, but this guy's gone Looney Tunes because he's backing this. I'll tell you this one. It authorizes immediate release for 16,000 dangerous criminals, even convicted murderers. So think of it like this. Your little girl or little boy is coming home one day, and he or she stops off at 7-Eleven or Circle K or the established franchise convenience market in your neighborhood, whatever that may be, wherever you are in the country listening to PowerVoices.com. Because, of course, we're from the communities in the world, on air, everywhere. So your loved one stops in to get a Slurpee, right? And so they're paying for the Slurpee, and as they walk out the door, two thugs ram in through the door, guns out, and go to the proprietor standing by a cash register where your loved one is, right? And the proprietor says, get out of here or whatever, and they put a gun in his face and say, give me the money. Give me the money. So, he gets the money, gives it to him, and they decide that they don't want any witnesses, so they shoot the proprietor, and on the way out, they shoot your loved one because that's what they need to do, kill everybody in the place. And they run down the street to their car and drive away. Then they get caught 5 hours later, and they get prosecuted as murderers. It doesn't get pleaded down to manslaughter. It gets murder 2, because there's no premeditation. Or if they came in with the guns, there is premeditation. because you don't pull a gun and point it in somebody's face unless you thought about pulling the trigger. So they go at murder one, but there's no special circumstances to put them behind into the death chamber or wherever. Or maybe the state doesn't have them. So if you're in California and that scenario or a similar scenario takes place, and they've been sitting in jail, all of a sudden Prop 57 is going to come around. And it's going to authorize immediate release for 16,000 dangerous criminals, even convicted murderers. Now that murderer is out on the street. And your loved one's dead. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Not I would. But what are you going to do? Don't vote for 57. That's for sure. It amends the California Constitution, takes rights away from victims, and grants more rights to criminals. This is on the heels of Prop 47 about 4 years ago, which allowed for nonviolent crimes to be criminals to be released, and early release times that was retroactive back into the jail and prison systems a couple of years, and also dropped the nonviolent crimes down to misdemeanors, so that now the police across California don't have to arrest people on misdemeanors that used to be nonviolent crimes. And so now we have more people on the street who are criminals who had nonviolent crimes. But you know what a nonviolent crime is? Nonviolent crimes doesn't mean that there's no violence involved. Oh, no. Nonviolent crime, means pushing somebody to the ground and smacking them around. That now gets pleaded down to a misdemeanor, and so they get a chance to go free. So that's what 47 did, and now 57 is on the heels of this. So this huge book is loaded full of information. So I mean, you could just go like pick a page. Okay, pick a page. Okay, I picked a page right here. This is page 80. And this is an analysis by the legislative analysis for 62 death penalty initiative statutes. Okay? Death penalty. So the death penalty here in California is something in a proposition that the voters are going to vote on. The Proposition 62, official title and summary, Death Penalty Initiative Statute, repeals the death penalty as maximum punishment for persons found guilty of murder and replaces it with life imprisonment without possibility of parole. I really want to take care of these animals. I'm sorry. You are inhumane. You don't deserve to live. And you're an animal. And we need to execute you. That's that simple. No pass go. Sorry. Too bad. And with DNA now, and DNA checking, there is the possibility is less and less and less that innocent people get put on death row. The science is caught up. Applies retroactively to persons already sentenced to death. States that the person found guilty of murder and sentenced to life without possibility of parole must work while in prison as prescribed by the Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation. Oh, isn't that great? So little Johnny is murdered at a park after his football game. This guy gets the death penalty, or this woman gets the death penalty that kills him. She or he is sitting on death row for 15 or 18 years. This proposition passes, and they get to have life in imprisonment for the rest of their life. Oh, isn't that great? Well, let's see what that really means. Okay? Your little Johnny is dead. Your little Johnny didn't get a chance to have his first kiss. Your little Johnny didn't have a chance to become an engineer. Your little Johnny didn't have a chance to pet your favorite golden retriever dog. Your little Johnny didn't have a chance to love. Your little Johnny didn't have a chance to go swimming and maybe become a great Olympic swimmer like Michael Phelps. He's dead. never to live again. His whole family is destroyed. The wake and the waves of that pain is a lifetime of friggin' misery. Let's see what those guys lifetime in prison they get. Well, first off, they got to murder a human being. How fun is that? Gee, I shoot cows, I shoot deer, and I shoot wild hogs. Let's just shoot a person. Okay? So now they get to go into the system for life in prison, for lifetime in prison. They get free meals, and they can have cigarettes. Okay? Air-conditioned buildings, and they get heat buildings. They got decent place to live. Right? Because they're on death row. Now they're in life in prison for their whole life. Okay? They get to breathe air. They get to go to the bathroom. They get to have sex. They get to read books, play with the computer, play dominoes and chess, get to laugh with their buddies, get to do push-ups and pull-ups. They get to comb their hair. They get to have engaging conversations. They get to play some sports. They get to go outside. They get free medical. They get free clothes. They get free food. They get free water. They get free transportation too when they get moved from prison to prison. Wow. Your little Johnny is dead. Let's check out them. They get to laugh and giggle. They even get to cry. They get to become religious and have God save their soul. They can be born again Christians. And now everything that they did prior to that, Jesus Christ has died on the cross and forgive them with the blood of Christ. But your little Johnny is dead. Or they can become Muslim and hang out with all their Islamic buddies. They can learn Spanish, French, English, Russian, German. They can learn how to take shorthand and type. They can even learn advanced mathematics. Oh, wait a second. They can convert from Christianity to Muslim and Muslim to Hindi and Hindi to Buddhist. But your little Johnny is dead. Now you tell me, life without parole, oh, by the way, it cost us a whole bunch of money because those individuals, sick rat bastards, that took another life, those people, $60,000 a year to keep them going. $60K. The last time I read something about that. Hey, that's awful. We don't have to pay the $60K. That's awful. It's time. Let me be the executioner, please. I'd love to be the executioner. I'd pull the rope. I'd push the button. I'd put the gas. I'd put the thing in the arm. I'd shoot the gun. Whatever the style is. Let me do it. Because I just remembered, little Johnny is dead. And Johnny will never come back. So you see, that's how important this book is. This book is just beyond words. This book talks about the effect on our society and what kind of world we're going to live in here in the state of California. And you can go anywhere in this book and find interesting things to read. I just pulled them on another page. Real simple. I went to page 112. This is ban on single-use plastic bags for referendum, Proposition 67. So it's a ban on single-use plastic bags. What do you feel about that? I don't know. I haven't even thought about that. I haven't thought about banning plastic use single bags. Okay, let's see this. Official title: Ban on single-use plastic bags referendum. A yes vote approves and a no vote rejects. Oh, I'm glad I learned that one. Gee, I thought yes was no and no was yes. Gee whiz. See, in this book, it even teaches you stuff. It really makes your mind bend. Yes means yes, and no means no. Like they have to teach us? Well, they do! This is in the book. If they didn't feel they had to teach us, it wouldn't be in the book. The big book. It's in the big book. The book. It's right here. The book. Yes. Yes means yes and no means no. Right. Hey, if your girl says no, get your greasy paws off her. You got it? No means no. Yes means yes. And if your girl says yes, whoo, 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 yo. Yeah, baby. Hurrah, hurrah. Imagine all the noises I'm making. The next door neighbors thinks it's a wild festival of orangutans. I like that orangutan from Eastwood movie. I thought he was so cool. Orangutans are strong. They're one of the strongest of the ape family in the world. They are strong, and they're so flexible. So I don't have any idea how I got to orangutans from ban on single-use plastic bags. So this would prohibit grocery and certain other retail stores from providing single-use plastic or paper carry-out bags to customers at point of sale. It drives me crazy that my Facebook Live isn't working. That drives me insane. That just hit me. They put a plastic bag around me, Lee.
Got a red circle.
I got a red circle around me. Damn the man, the package. I got a red circle put around me. I didn't do anything. That's not fair. Okay. Prohibits grocery and certain other retail stores from providing single-use plastic or paper carry-out bags to customers at point of sale. Permits sale of recycled paper bags and reusable bags to customers at a minimum price of 10 cents per bag. Wait a second.
So it's giving the grocery stores the ability to charge you for the bags.
And it's a law. Now, they do that already, but it's not mandatory.
Right.
Some do, some don't.
Right.
Okay, but this becomes a law.
It kind of sucks.
I think it really sucks. So you know what I'm going to do if this passes? I'm going to go into the grocery store, and I'm not going to carry any bags. And I'm going to put all the food in my arms. And I'm going to drop it. The eggs, I'm going to drop the milk on purpose and say, I got no bags. And they're going to say, well, you can buy a 10-cent bag. I said, well, why don't you give me 10 cents so I can buy a bag? Oops, there goes another box of eggs.
You're going to say, sir, here are the bags.
That's right. That's right. See, there's important stuff in it. And it's really very interesting. So it's 223 pages of important stuff. Okay? So I just wanted to touch bases. There was no way I could get to everything.
Can I make a handwritten or typed list to kind of take that into the booth with me? So like if I want to vote no on 52 or yes on 25, can I take that cheat sheet in?
You can take this.
But can I make up my own? I don't want to thumb through that all.
Yeah, you can take that.
Yeah.
But they'll also provide you cheat sheets.
Okay.
At the voting place.
Oh, really?
They'll provide you little cheat sheets.
Okay.
And here in California, when you flip the page and stick your little sticker in.
Yeah, I don't like that.
That's what they use.
I know.
Okay. there's a summary. What the summary is the same summary that's in here.
Okay.
So most people, when they read the summary, they still don't get it because it's so confusing.
Yeah, and who's going to stand there for 72 minutes going through every proposition and reading through it to make sure that you're voting? That's why I want to take my own little cheat sheet.
Right.
I want to have 52
Right.
yes.
Right. That's what you do.
54 no.
Yeah, you can.
And just go down the. Yeah. Okay.
You can
Yeah.
do
All right. Good, because I was going to do it anyway.
I'm the guy that stands there for 72 hours.
Yeah, I can't do
I do.
that. Now, do you go to the booth or do you do it by mail? Or?
No, I like going in.
Yeah, me too.
I like walking in.
Yeah,
I like getting
I feel
a little,
better.
I get like getting a little sticker on your shirt or your
Yeah,
jacket.
I voted.
voted.
Yeah.
Voted. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so we kind of went over the politics that's going to happen November 3rd. And of course, there is the federal stuff that's happening and the president. So there's a lot at stake going on right now, both here in the state of California. Oh, by the way, there is a proposition to make marijuana use recreational. I think that's 71. Yes, I got yeah, for you stoners out there in pockets. And the medicinal marijuana guys that need this. Let's see if it's well, it might be 69. Wouldn't that be funny if it's 69? Maybe it's 64.
Is that legal?
Oh yeah, it's 64. It's 64. Proposition 64. Okay, I got a few seconds here. I'll go over this one real fast, okay? This is going to pass, by the way. The last straw poll that was taken says it's almost a guarantee. It's called the Marijuana Legislation Initiative Statute, Prop 64. Analysis, okay, taxes on medical marijuana. That's it. I want this one. Okay, the summary. Okay. Marijuana legislation. Thank you very much. Initiative statute. But I got cultivation down. All right. Legalizes marijuana. Marijuana? Yes, I love marijuana. I did. Marijuana! Like Rick James? Yeah. Marijuana! Was that great? Man, I hit that high note. Legalizes marijuana under the state law for use by adults 21 or older. Designated state agencies to license and regulate marijuana. Imposing state tax of 15% on retail sales of marijuana. State cultivation tax on marijuana of $9.25 per ounce of flowers and $2.75 per ounce of leaves. Exempts medical marijuana from same taxation. Establishes packaging, labeling, advertising, and marketing standards and distributes all marijuana products. Prohibits marketing and advertising marijuana directly to minors. Allows local regulation and taxation of marijuana. Authorizes reading, sentencing, and destruction of records for prior marijuana convictions. The size of the measure's fiscal effects could vary significantly depending on how the state and local governments choose to regulate and tax marijuana, whether the federal government enforces federal laws prohibiting marijuana, and how marijuana prices and consumption change under the measure. Next, additional state and local tax revenues that can eventually range from hundreds of millions of dollars to billions of dollars annually. Most of these funds would be required to be spent for specific purposes such as youth programs, very good, environmental protection, yes, very good, and law enforcement. I like what the taxes are going to go to. You know, I like that. Youth programs, law enforcement, and environmental protection. Yeah, I like that. Not reduced costs, net reduced costs, potentially in the tens of millions of dollars annually to state and local governments, primarily related to a decline in the number of marijuana offenders held in the state prisons and county jails. So they have like 5 pages of this act here. And the straw poll on this idea is that it is probably going to pass. It's a high percent, 68, 69% of the people that talk on the phone and stuff. So yeah, we're going to go for that. I hope they do, because we got to get some more money in the state. We might as well, because prohibition across the country is going to be lifted. There's now 30 states that have medical marijuana, and there are going to be 6 to 9 more states that don't allow recreational use.
So, man, do I vote yes or no?
Dude, man.
Dude,
Dude.
because I'm confused, man.
Yeah. Yeah, I know what you're saying. You know, man, I got this really good stuff, man. It's like the biggest joint you've ever had, man. It's like huge, man. And nobody can smoke this, man. Nobody, man. My cousin smoked it, and man, he like went crazy, man. That's right. Okay. Yes. An interesting show today. Thanks for joining us on thepowervoices.com. I'm going to get myself hooked back up into Facebook Live. I'm going to fix that. I don't know how, but I will get it fixed, because that's not a good thing. It's the Jesse T Show, from 5 to 6 right here, live at 5, Monday through Friday. We are on the air and everywhere, from the community to the world, talking what you need to hear and listening to what you got to say. I'm glad we had the opportunity to go over a little bit about voting on November 8th. Check out the vice presidential candidates debate tonight. It's probably happening right now, so go check it out. And remember, keep it right here. Download our app for free on thepowervoices.com for Apple and Android. You have entered the world according to Torero. And now, I bid you adieu, and I let you go out of the world according to Torero, back to your lovely life of bliss and content. The brown beauty is off duty. Hey, In-N-Out Burger. Oh, yeah. Give me that joint, too.
Jackass, you gotta milk the whole thing. I told you 30 seconds, he talks for another minute. Oh, Lord have mercy.